Presentation items. Did you want to do CSM?
I'll be real brief on that. We've been reporting.
Item 7. Yeah.
Yes, to this committee, the status of the customer service management system project. That project is approaching its end, and we believe that we will be prepared to go live on Monday. That will require us to close down our customer service operations at close of business on Thursday, so that we can create a 3-day weekend. A lot of times these cutovers occur during holiday weekends, but we're creating our own because it takes that long to move all the data over one last time, build all the files, test the system to make sure, because the auditors will want to know what was on the old system was moved over to the new system, make sure that all the functionality is working, all the equipment's working, and that everybody's ready to go on Monday.
We do appreciate the early notice so we can all go to like Mexico on Monday, turn our cell phones around.
When you look at the different things that we're responsible for, the primary business that we have is, in moving water from here to there and changing its quality from this to that. And there is an enormous amount of infrastructure in place, including redundancy, to make that happen. And the system is networked so that pieces can be shut off as other pieces are maintained. This is one of the few times where we're doing essentially a brain transplant. And so with that, it's important to make sure that we've got the controls in place to make sure that this goes well. We believe that those are in place. The thing that I told Mr. Grant from the beginning of this project is that this is one of those that has a project that has some amount of upside, as far as customers having new features that they like and information that makes them feel like that the organization that they're doing business with is business-like. But there's an almost unlimited downside, if the project doesn't go well. And so we've gone through and identified what are the metrics to test to make sure, is this project going and staying within its boundaries of what constitutes an effective and successful implementation. And we believe we're poised for that, but we'll be monitoring that. I'll be reporting back on that next month. The thing that really has to happen this week is two things: the final training and the final certification. I had to take the very strong stance that employees, to get a sign-on to the new system, you had to be tested and certified that you could operate the new system. No certification, no sign-on, no job. And so folks have been working very, very diligently to make sure that they can move into that new role. The other thing that's going to be happening other than the training and certification is the communications piece. We have a mailing that will be going out that's being printed today, and it'll go out late this week to customers describing what their new bill will look like, and that's in there behind tab 7. And then on the other side of that, and we didn't include it here, but is a real attractive summary of what all the new features and capabilities are. So that'll be going out this week. We also, late this week, early next week, will do a massive email blast to all the customers who, for whatever reason, have given us their emails on previous occasions. And then there'll be a press conference next Monday. And so with that, this has been just under a $7 million project. It's involved a lot of people. And what we're putting up, as people ask, is, well, what type of system did you buy? And typically I start out by saying we're buying a tier 2 system, with a tier 1 system being Oracle or PeopleSoft or SAP. Tier 2 system is a very good system from a vendor you've not ever heard of before. And the platform for this software is Microsoft Dynamics GP, which is the old Great Plains software that Microsoft acquired and incorporated. And then Cogsdale came in and put their utility overlay on top of that. And so with that, that's our news.
That's
And
very
we will-
exciting. It's
Very exciting.
Good and
You
bad.
know, there's been a lot of foundation building on the, in essence, new Sewerage and Water Board, both underground as well as in the offices. And this is one of those items that was important in the transition that finally becomes visible. You know, as the house, we talk, you know, house from renovation, 90% of the workplace looks terrible. In the last 2 days, everything looks, this is going to be, I know there may be glitches, but
Right.
in the long run, which I don't think will be more than a few weeks, this is going to be really good for
And it
our-
takes about 30 days to work through those glitches. An ideal circumstance would be when somebody looks out the peephole because they've asked Sewerage and Water Board to come meet with them at a particular date and time, and the doorbell rings and they look out and they see someone in a nice fresh uniform holding an iPad, not a clipboard, but with a bunch of papers, but they show up on time for the appointment and there's an iPad, and they'll think, that's really Sewerage and Water Board? That's more than what I was expecting. And then have someone come in and be able to handle all their business electronically and have it taken care of immediately. It's the standard we're aiming for. That's
Great.
it. If I just
We do have financial results. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just one question. I know you asked about the sewer and water versus drainage, but do you get questions about explaining the current activity and what those charges are?
There
what they're
is
for?
some, and also on the sanitation.
We're done.
One
See
of
you
the
later.
things, one of the biggest process changes that's changing in all this is how we post the payments. It used to be done on a hierarchy, sewer first, then water, and then after all of those were taken care of, and then whatever was left went to sanitation, the solid waste fee. And instead, we're going to put that on a pro rata basis. And so, you know, the question has always been, will people be turned off for non-payment of sanitation? Well, the way this will work is you will be delinquent on your water and sewer, and you will be eligible for turn off for that before you would be eligible for that on the sanitation side. However, if a customer is turned off for non-payment of water and sewer, their service is not restored until the entire bill is taken care of. And so with that, Mr. Arnold had mentioned the issues and challenges with the collection of the sanitation charges. We believe the changes we've made will successfully address that.
Great, thank you.